All right, I think we are live. Let me check to make sure that everything is good. Can you guys hear me? I hope you can. Um, let me make sure. I'm gonna make sure. I don't want to be on here and they can't hear me. How's everybody doing? I know I'm a little early. I said 12:30, but got something to do. Wanted to get on here as soon as possible to take care of this business we need to take care of. And you guys read the title. We're going to deal with some misconduct of our Black folk, but we're going to do a little bit of housekeeping first. And we're still doing the realm in the bush. We are trying to get things situated with them. With that, I am in the process of looking for housing now for my individuals that want to come from different cities, and that's the issue that I'm running into. We started a guy, and I'm going to do, I guess, some interviewing of different ones that have joined the foundation so far, and they're actually in school now. And I'm going to do. It's a little warm in here. I'm in the living room, and need to check to see what the air is on. But um, I'm going to do a little interview of the individuals that have joined the foundation already. Um, One is in barbering school. We have one that's signed up for the barbering school, trucking. Another one wants to go into the HVAC program. But let me introduce the Ram in the Bush, REALM in the Bush, in the Bush, THEBUSH.com. That is the website. Okay. And we have different programs. And what we do, I've, this week, oh man, there's so much going on. This week I talked to the mayor. He's a person, a black guy that's running for mayor of my city. Okay. And we actually have talked to him about doing some things. And another guy seen a play this week. I can't even, last Sunday, I can't even remember the play, but it was a play on these three lawyers that was bringing a lawsuit against America. Okay. American Justice, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong on that, but the play was really good. Talked to the playwright; he's an attorney, so we got some things working. Got some things in the mix here. This is not a show for talk. This is not a show for just to come before you guys. This my show is reality. It's things that I'm doing. It's things that I'm talking about, and things when I start talking, I'm a doer. I am not just a talker. And I know Black folk, we want to be entertained. I'm not here to entertain you. I'm here to change your mindset, to change your life, to change our situation. That is my motto. Okay. So we bought Rum in the Bush forth, um, and it's for 18 to 25 uh, individuals who want to be taught on the job training, my apprenticeship program, entrepreneurship program. But I know all of us cannot be entrepreneurs, don't want to be entrepreneurs. And those we have programs for those individuals that are actually being trained by my HVAC, painting, flooring, plumbing person. You'll work with him because he has different contracts and he's going to set you out. And it's a black guy. And he's going to send you out on contracts to do some work for him and also get paid while you learn. Okay. We have a barbering school. You can go there. It's a 10-month to 12-month program. It's up to you how you learn. Car detailing, mechanics, mechanic program. He's actually looking for mechanics. So he's going to, in fact, train you to work for him. And then once he has enough, then he's going to train you, give you a certificate, and you can open up your shop anywhere you want to. Also, we have a CDL class, CDL trucker. We go to several locations, actually Indiana and Utah. Okay. And that's a year's program. You have to drive for this company a year and you won't be charged anything. Um, but let me tell you one thing. There is $1,000 fee, but it comes out of your paycheck and it's $38 per paycheck. Okay, to that little fee. And we try to get that little fee waived. So hopefully we can get that fee waived. But this is free training. They'll actually give you a bus ticket to come to whichever training, but you do have to go up on their website to get the training, but you have to go through us. And we have a person that we work with there that will, in fact, train you for uh, that CDO to get your CDO. So we are doing things different. We are here to change mindsets. We are not here to force people to do. We want the people that want to do. We want the people that's ready for change. We want the people that's ready to see a black folk in charge again. Because I know some black folk ain't ready for this. some black folk ain't ready for my show. Some black folk ain't ready for me. Some black folk just ain't ready to do anything different but serve white supremacy and continue with that white supremacy mindset. This is why we're doing the show. What do we do when we've been sold out by our own, like our black politician, Black Caucus, all of the Black Caucus have sold you out because all of them are immigrants and immigrants. And I'm not talking about all, but I am talking about the ones in the Black Caucus. They don't have a Black Caucus, a Black folk mindset. They have an immigrant mindset because they are immigrants and they are here to help immigrants. They are here to help the Mexicans. They are here to help everybody but Black folk. Okay. What do we do about these people? What do we do about these situations? But before we get to that, I want to introduce you also to my book. Of course, I have a book, okay, A Mother's Love. This is the covering by Cassandra Cheek. So this is my book, A Mother's Love. Get that title. Take a picture of it. Okay, take a picture. Take a picture. That is my book, A Mother's Love, and we are trying to change the mindset of Black people, and we have to start somewhere. We are having a meeting coming up, and this is for the Black folks. So stay in tune, stay in touch. This is for Black folk that want to see a mindset change. And we're me and Bakari, we're gonna kind of get into that. And Brother Bakari, that's my buddy right there. He has a show. Please don't forget to tune into his show. And I will put his show in the comment section. But please do not forget to tune into his show. Brother Bakari is amazing. He has some amazing topics. You guys need to be tuning in to this brother here. I'm telling you, I am going to look up his thing right now and try to find his show so you guys can, and I'm doing this on my own, so y'all bear with me. Okay, let me see, Brother Bakari. You guys have got to tune in to this brother's shows. I'm telling you, he is amazing. I'm telling you, he is amazing. He has had some really good topics coming up, and I'm going to need you guys to tune in to him. If I can find his, if I can't find it right now, I will put it in the chat. Okay, after I'm done. But he had, I'm telling you, this dude has had some amazing shows. Okay, so you guys stay tuned for him. But we are planning on some think tankers. We're gonna get a think tank together, and we're gonna come up with some issues. We're gonna come up with some problem solving. We're gonna come up with some things that we can do. Just like with the foundation, that's a start. We have to start somewhere. I can't do it all. That is a start. Okay, so we need to really start looking into changing some things. I saw this Sesame Street a little piece of nothing. What's up, Bakari? I want you to put your website in the chat. Put your show in the chat. We are talking about the mindset change. We want to meet for the mindset. We want a meeting as far as the mindset. We want to change our mindset and change our thinking. We have to start somewhere, and the foundation. That's where we are starting. Okay, we can no longer continue on like we are continuing right now. And my brother is here, and we are going to talk about some things. I want to talk about the Sesame Street thing. I want to talk about this new gentleman in Chicago. He is a mayor. I have got to show you that because that is amazing. I'm telling you, he's a Black guy in Chicago. But I want to play that first. Give me an opportunity to put that on first, Bakari. I want to show you guys something. I'm going to share my screen. It's two things that I want to do here. And this brother here, if you live in Chicago, I'm telling you, family, you guys better. I mean, he's running independently, and I do believe I've been watching Jamal Green forever. Okay, even when I was years, I've been watching him for a few years now, and he's finally going to put his skin in the game, and he is going to run for mayor of Chicago. And I am so happy for him. I'm so excited. I want you guys to see this here. Let me try to pull it up, you guys, real quick. I'm hoping you guys can see my screen. This is the young man here, and I'm going to play just a little bit of this podcast from Dr. Umar, who interviewed this young brother. And I think you guys should still be able to see my screen. but it's only a minute and 28 seconds. So you guys be patient and bear with me. And let's watch our brother. Let's see what they're talking about. I don't want no ads here. We're trying to skip all the ads.
Peace and love, family. Come on in one time. Come on in. Peace and Pan-Africanism. I want all my Chicago Africans to come in. As y'all know, as part of the Bishop Turner National Independent Black Political Movement, we are all about supporting independent candidates. Get off the Democratic Party plantation. Get off the Republican Party plantation. And today we have a brother running for mayor of the second largest black metropolis in America, Chicago. He's not running as a Democrat. He's not running as a Republican. He's running as an independent. This is the good brother right here, Brother Jamal Green. We got him on his campaign bus. Stay right there, King, because I'm going to get your name in the back of you. Okay, so Brother Jamal Green, first question right off the top. And you know, my peoples from all over the world is meeting you and hearing you for the first time. Why do you want to be mayor of Chicago, Illinois?
Yeah, well, I've been fighting on behalf of the people for many years. Let me first just say I'm not a politician. I'm somebody who has stepped up at every moment in our communities to make sure that we have justice. On behalf of Laquan McDonald and led that movement. Chase Bank when they weren't lending to
Black Power. I'm speaking here tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Come on out.
When Chase Bank was redlining our communities on the south and west sides, I fought Chase Bank and protested over 35 branches, and they banned me from every Chase in America, and we brought them to their knees and made them give $1 billion back to us. So at every moment, I stepped up and I fought on behalf of the people. So I'm not a politician, but I'm somebody who understands these communities on a unique level, that's from it, and that has always fought for it. And at this time, we got to take that mayor seat so that we can make sure that resources get equally distributed throughout our city.
Well said. Obviously, when people hear about Chicago all over the news, obviously they're trying to paint our people like animals, as if this not causes to this crisis of violence. Now, we know when you deal with black on black crime, you have to deal with white on black crime. You have the three biggest issues: miseducation, economic castration, okay, and the breakdown of the black community. So when it comes to education and when it comes to economic opportunity, so public schools and economic opportunities, what do you have in store for Black Chicago?
You are 100% correct on what you're saying. Actually, let me give you a little more historical context right here.
Oh no, we're not doing these commercials.
Meet Kachava. Kachava is the world's
out of here.
Here in Chicago, there was a black belt when folks came from South, when they migrated here to Chicago. Then they pushed us into the project buildings. As y'all know, there was the project buildings so that they can contain us. Then they knocked down those project buildings and pushed us into the neighborhoods, and there was segregation. Y'all already know. And what happened with segregation? Oppression in every area. So from our taxpayer dollars, from education, all the way down the line, from investment, is why we are here today. So when they talk about public safety, I don't say nothing about police, because they always want to say, oh, what about police? This police don't have nothing to do with what's going on in these communities. And if we don't tackle the real root causes, and we keep allowing them to only increase the police budget, that's the only budget that has increased over the years. Not the housing budget for our neighborhoods, not the education budget. The only budget that has increased, we giving $2 billion a year right now to our CPD. $2 billion a year. Hey, that's not even including the $100 million a year in police misconduct, the $200 million a year in police overtime. So over $2.4, $2.5 billion goes to police in our city. And then we asking, why is there so much violence? Oh, let's look at the neighborhoods. When young people come out of a broken home, they're going into a broken school because they take the tip dollars and take the money out of our school system to say they're going to spur economic development. Well, where's that development going? Downtown. So then they walk into a broken community, walking past boarded up schools, boarded up houses with X's on them, boarded vacant lots that's not being developed. And then you say, why these young people don't have no hope? Well, look at what they walking past. Then you look at where they shopping at. They got a corner store that's operating as the grocery store because we are living in food deserts, right? So now you talk about what are they eating? What is in their, why their minds go up like that? Then they go back in the house and turn on the water, and guess what? We got lead in our water. And so you look at where all the lead pipes are, they're on the south and west sides. So when you're talking about the reality of these neighborhoods and public safety, you got to tackle making sure these young people have a pipeline to even get job opportunities, to even get these tech jobs, to when they coming out of school, making it free to get trained, and so they get these $100,000 jobs, putting trades back in the schools so that they can become have vocational programs all throughout our schools in our city, making sure that they become entrepreneurs, right? Entrepreneurial skills they need to.
Okay, you guys, I want it now. You guys see and understand what we're trying to do here. Okay, Kari, I am going to bring you on here, and let's talk about that. Let's talk about. Let me stop sharing right now. Let me stop sharing. But I want to talk to you. Let's talk about this right here, Bakari. How you doing today? And thank you for joining. I want to talk about this young brother that is running for independent. He's not, and I do believe that we need our own political party. I don't believe that we need to be running and voting for the federal Republicans, Democrats. They're not going to do anything. Why don't we have our own political party? We're going to talk a little bit about that because I do believe that if we have our own political party, then we could get these done locally and not just all the time federally. Because we have a mayor that's running for our city right now. I've talked to him personally. Last Sunday he was at a program, and I asked him out loud in front of everybody, "What is your Black agenda?" And we talked, and it was so amazing because now we're looking at Black folk just trying to do for Black people. What are Black people going to do with these certain individuals? I'm gonna give you the flow here. How you doing?
I'm great, sis. How about you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. This is a great day to be alive, right? I'm seeing
Yeah.
some great new things that's happening here. I'm excited about it because I'm telling you, this young man, Jamal Green, I've been following him for a minute. Okay. My thing is, let's see what he does when he get in the game. If we even give him an opportunity, because a lot of time Black folk, we can pick and choose better people. But just like Marcel Dixon, he was running for Black folk, but the only thing he did, he was running for Democrat Party. I don't believe in that. I think we should be done with the Democratic Party, but I do believe that if he runs for an independent party, he will be able to beat actually what's that dude's name, Claiborne, whatever you call him. But my thing is, Black folk put Claiborne back in the same seat that he has for 30 years, that he's not done anything for Black people. What do you think about all that?
Claiborne hasn't done anything, and I can understand when people wanted to vote for what's his name,
Marcel Dixon?
Marcel Dixon. But then after hearing Marcel Dixon, some of the stuff that he was, some of the stuff that he was saying, especially about Black immigrants, uh, I don't think he was, I don't think he was a much better choice. That's just me, because
Mhm.
he had a real problem with he had a real problem with Black immigrants, a real problem.
And you know what most Black folk do? And I'm gonna tell you that's miseducation right there on our part, because we have to understand that we're all one. When a Black immigrant comes here, but you have to understand Black immigrants are having an issue with Black folk too. So we have to first get this immigration, this African thing together to understand that we're all one. If I stand next to an African brother and if you stand next to an African brother, they're not gonna see that all they're gonna see is Black. They're not gonna say, "Oh, he's from Africa." No, they're gonna look and they're gonna say, "Oh, blackly, black, black, black."
Yeah,
So
that's
we
what
have
the
to get
whole world gonna see. But what I'm saying is,
exactly.
when you running for a political party, you can't be publicly talking negative about. You can't be talking negative about those people, about Black people from other places, when you want Black people to vote for you. And
Uh-huh.
that's what he did. He joined the I try not to call people name on other folks shows, but
I
he
know
did,
what you, and he did. Yes, he did. But
he
you have to
joined
understand,
He joined the Tariq Nasheed.
he
Uh
the only one. Jason Black too. You have to understand.
oh
Okay.
yes, I know. I'm just saying, so he joined their
ADOS or FBS? Which one is FBA? Which one?
he was basically FBA, and he would literally be in Twitter spaces arguing and trying to what's the word? Humiliate
You say humiliate.
yeah,
My
other Black people. So that
see,
wasn't good. This brother right here,
uh-huh.
he sound like he sound like he might have a plan. I would have to learn a little bit more about
hmm
him,
hmm
and Can we do anything? That's what I believe in local. If you're gonna do something
Right.
politically, it's
Locally.
going to have to be done locally
Locally.
because we're truly not organized enough to do anything on a national level right now. Like I said, because of lack of organization. Not
Mhm.
that we don't have the ability, not that we can't,
Right.
but we have not, excuse me, we have not organized. An,
Uh-huh.
an organization, that's a big key to our success,
Uh-huh.
right? That's a major key to our success is how we're going to organize. And once we organize, how we're going to strategize, right?
Mhm.
Because it has to be when we look and we say, so, and I was reading it, I said, what we going to do about white supremacy, right?
Mhm.
Stop being afraid
Right.
of black supremacy. Stop being afraid.
Okay, you need to explain that what you just said. Stop being afraid of black supremacy. Explain that. What you mean?
Okay, black supremacy.
Mhm.
Stop being afraid of power. Stop being afraid of one another. Stop being afraid to create. Stop
Right.
worrying about somebody might think you're a racist while you sit around and complain about other people being racist. You know, stop thinking. It's almost to a point where I ain't gonna even say almost, I erase almost.
Say
We're at
what
a
you gotta say.
point, we're at a point where we literally think other people is superior to us. We
Right.
brag on other people. Uh, we brag on other people and how they work and the things they do, you know, all the time. But then we
Mhm.
look at ourselves and we only notice the negative. And I'm gonna give an example. I use the example of I'm gonna use the civil rights movement, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
We hear people say the civil rights movement was a complete failure. This is social media, right?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
they look the only thing they did, they fought to be next to white women. Means
Right.
that they fought to be next to white people. Even they
Uh-huh.
was take a I used to say this stupid stuff too when I was younger. And I sat back and I learned because I had people that was close to me that was working part of this. So
Mhm.
nobody is fighting when you look at it. Nobody was really fighting to be next to them for the most part. Majority of black people just wanted to be like, shit, if I'm on your side of town working and I get sick, I got the right to go in this hospital. But the
Right.
same people that will call it a complete failure will turn around and say, don't vote unless you get intangibles. Well, obviously, it was not a complete failure because if it wasn't for that civil rights movement, you wouldn't be able to vote at all, whether you get intangibles or not.
Mhm.
So now, most of these people that say this, a lot of them, you ask them what school they went to, most of them have gone to a PWI, right? A
Uh-huh.
predominantly white institution.
Uh-huh.
But if it wasn't for that civil rights movement, they wouldn't have been able to get into those white institutions. So
Mhm.
what we do is when I say, and all of this is being afraid of black supremacy, right?
Mhm.
So let's think of the negative that all the people did before me. Let's say they messed us up. We don't have to accept no accountability in whatever positive they did. Let's never talk about it because the people I'm talking to, they are not going to read and study nothing for themselves. They just going to parakeet whatever it is
Right.
we say.
Right.
Jason Black, Tariq Nasheed, it's a whole lot
Oh,
of
it's a whole
and it's a and you know and it's a whole lot of them.
right.
So then you go to the abort black male baby crew, right?
Mm.
So then you go to the black feminist crew,
Mm.
right? Now I know you have noticed on social media how everyone has been talking about the TD Jakes sermon. What they say, everybody labeled it TD Jakes say we're raising our women to be men. Have you seen that?
I have, you know what? I saw it, but I've been so busy this
Okay.
weekend.
So what you
Yeah.
do is if you listen to the whole sermon,
Mhm.
the TD Jakes, he said, I disagree with 85% of what he said. Might be more than that. That's only I'm giving it trying to be guided. But I noticed what he did and what people showed. They just showed the part where he was blaming women for everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't show the part where he talked about the man not being home. But even according to him,
Uh-huh.
when you go back and listen to him, that's the woman's fault too. That's the woman's fault. The woman want to put you on child support, but ain't letting the child get the support from the dad. See, the man don't have to take. So now what we have done is we scared of black supremacy
Right.
because we scared of everybody else.
Right.
So I always say defenseless people fight defenseless people.
Right.
Or weak fight the weak, right? So
Mm-hmm.
what since they feel they can't do nothing with nobody above them, they don't think they can, right? So who is the soft target for black men? So the soft target is going to be the woman because
Yep.
I'm physically stronger than a woman.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
if she get out of pocket, I can always check her. You
Right.
understand what I'm saying? So this social media thing that people is going through means that, and how a lot of people now is starting to basically really truly live their life through social media
Right.
is truly messing up black people. Black people have become the dysfunctional family. We're a dysfunctional family because we don't care about one another at all. The men don't care about the women. The men don't care to respect, love, provide, and protect for the women, right?
It's
So
called
then,
divide and conquer.
yes. So then the women don't care about the men because the
Right.
men don't care about the women and then women don't care. So
It's
now
a mess.
it just keep and it's strictly and it's a lot of social media. Not saying there ain't no women that ever done nothing. Not saying there ain't no men that ain't never done nothing. We can point out the flaws in everybody, but
But
some
when do we stop the blame game? When do we stop the
that's what,
blame game?
that's
Because
what I
the
was
blame game is not helping anything. We blame game for how many years now? Now it's time to move past that, and it's really time to start doing.
but you know
We've
why
been
they continue
blaming
to blame,
forever.
right?
Huh?
You know why they continue to blame, right?
Go ahead. Why?
They continue to blame because if I continue to point the finger at you, I never have to look in the mirror and accept responsibility for the role that I played,
Exactly.
for the role that I continue to play. So I'm going to continue to blame someone else.
Right.
And the reason I very seldom, I don't talk about white supremacy and race because it's a built-in excuse for too many black people.
Right.
Every time something goes, oh, it's racism, white supremacy, it's racism, white supremacy, it's racism, white supremacy.
But
Like,
guess what? Because you even know right now what is going on is our fault because we already know. And I'm gonna show you another video, and I want to show this video also. We know things are going on. We know how they are. We know how they treat us. We've just seen the whole Sesame Street thing on camera, and Sesame will come back. Sesame Street comes back and tell us, "Oh, you didn't see what you seen. There's nothing to see over here. This is what happened." No, 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 no. You're not gonna tell me what I just saw in my face, but it doesn't even matter because you still see black folks supporting them. So this is what I want to. I want to talk about this so bad today.
and I know,
Go
and
ahead.
let me show you some consideration. Like
Uh-huh.
even what we were just talking about, right?
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
If you look in the chat, there's somebody, a man or a woman, I don't know, RCH. Africans and Black Americans are worlds apart. Because that's how black people, and I'm gonna tell you something.
But
We can
when you don't know your history and you allow white folk to educate you, you're going to be looking just like we look. We've allowed our enemies, which is a no-no. You don't allow. Do you see any other culture? Do you see the Jews allowing the Germans to educate their children? So don't come on here with all this crazy talk about we worlds apart. My thing is we're the same. If my grandma, great grandma came from Africa, okay, and it's still some people in Africa that's related to me there. How are we worlds apart? We're 10. We're one. We're one. What's the problem? I don't understand the mentality. This
I
is
don't
what other black folk have told you that we're worlds apart. That's your cousin over
yes,
there.
wait a
That's your
minute.
brother.
But guess who told those other black folks that?
White. Well, I ain't gonna
Was
say that.
white
Go ahead.
was white folk.
Uh-huh.
So
And we
so then
run with it.
so then
And
if
we
you
we mark what we continue the talk of their talking points. They don't need to come in the community and say anything. They'll say one statement and black folk will run with it. And
yeah,
we'll believe it till the day we die.
and if you read the Brzezinski report, the last one to it was coming to Jimmy Carter.
Yes.
And you can just the Brzezinski report, and you can see black Africans versus black African Americans, and
Uh-huh.
it'll see how even this country said what they said, they had an infinity to care about one another. So they had to do what they had to do to make sure they stay divided.
Divide and conquer.
To make sure those groups of black people stay divided. Now,
Right.
I'm not saying every black person from another country that come here is going to be on our side, just like we
already seen that they're not. But we have black folk here that in America that we are kin to that's not on our side.
That's not on, and that's the point that I was making. We have coons and traders from here. They have coons and traders from Africa, from Jamaica, from Trinidad, from South America, from everywhere. And that's one about, you know what? And that's one of, because it don't take a lot of people to be a trader.
Right.
It only take the one who know the information to be the trader. Like, let me give you an example. With the Black Panthers, Huey P. Newton. I'm not going to talk about William O'Neill because enough black people talk about him, right? So let's talk about what Huey P. Newton. When they created all these other different Panther sets that people don't like to talk about, they had the White Panthers, the Jewish Panthers, they had the Asian Panthers. So then the leader of the Asian Panthers was a guy named Tony Ayoko or something like that, right? He worked for the federal government while he was in the Asian Panthers.
You need to stop.
Yes, you can. I can show you all of this. He even talked about how, and this is why Kwame Ture left, because it got to the point the Asians and the white people was making the decisions for the Black Panthers, right? So he even talked about how they would come to him for information and giving information, want him to make the plans. That's who they got their guns from. So now we're going to wonder why. How did the government know everything that was going on? Because we allowed someone to infiltrate. And like I said, it don't take a lot. I'm quite sure them white ones was the same. But what I'm saying is this guy worked for the federal government. So we didn't know it. It's 2022 now. We have access to everything. So once you start these movements, now we can do a better vetting process.
Of course.
Give me your information. We're going to look you up. If you still on papers, if you still on parole, or if you still on probation, can you be a part? You can pass out a flyer, but you ain't going to have no information until you completely off papers.
Right.
It's not the fact that I don't trust you or don't care about you, but it's the fact is I know you care about you. And if you do something wrong, you might go back to prison for 5 to 10 years. But if you tell on Cassandra or the people in the chat or Bakari, we'll cut them 10 years out. And while we cut them 10 years out, we'll give you $2,500 a week to come in here and bring us this information.
Come on now. But you have to understand, white folk, Chinese folk, don't come to work with us. They come to take over. Period.
Everybody do.
Period. So why is it that we've known the history, we see their history, but we still keep doing the same stuff over and over? We just rewrap it and we keep doing the same stuff over and over.
Because we have too many built-in excuses. See, as Squad just put in the chat, the truth is there's a stepped agenda against Black America. I say again, she's the targeted genocide to destroy the Black race. I absolutely agree with that statement. You can't just put a smiley face on that and say move on. We're not saying just move on. What we're saying is we accept responsibility for what we have to do. And once we accept that responsibility for what we have to do, then we organize and strategize. We will come up with something to combat what they're doing. We know, see, how many people on YouTube talk about what they're doing on social media, what they're doing to us all the time?
Come on.
Now, how many truly say this is what we need to do to combat that? I'm tired of marching. I'm not going, I ain't going to no march. Your feet dry. You got blisters on the bottom of your feet. You done marched for so long. I'm tired of saying, y'all owe me. I'm tired of doing all that. I'm tired of saying, give me reparations. Well, I'm tired of all that. So one of the first things we need to do once we organize, the first strategy that we come up with is let's do something different. Because if you change your mind, if you change a change of mind, will change our condition. I'm gonna say it again.
Okay, let me ask you a question. When you say a change of mind, how do we begin to? That's just for the ones that don't know. How do we begin to change our mind?
how do you begin to
Yeah.
change your mind?
To change the process.
To looking and
You've been
accepting
thinking like this forever. We've been thinking like this forever. How do we begin to change the mindset?
by accepting the truth, by getting rid of people. And when I'm saying getting rid of, stop dealing with people that
Right.
want to lie to you and keep you in a position
Right.
while they are getting rich off your oppression. You're staying oppressed, we're
Yeah.
staying broke, but they're getting rich by
Yeah.
keeping you stagnant, right? So that's the first thing. Be open-minded. It's okay to listen to what someone else have to say. Then what someone else have to say, and then especially if that person say, I can show you. That's why
Yeah.
I mentioned you can look up the Brzezinski report, and then once you look it up, you can put in Black Africans versus Black Americans, and you can see what I'm saying. I'm not gonna just say anything to try and get you on my side, right? So then the change of mind, the ones who there, it's a small number of like Team Black. I said, we got like 5, 10 people. I said, I don't even want it because it got to be small to start. Because you get too many people involved, it's going to be too much confusing. We want people involved later on down the road because we have to show some things that we have accomplished. Right. So then once they see this few building, so then there's going to be a change because they're like, wow, we can see it. Because if they're doing it, just imagine if 10 more went. So now look what this 10 did. Now out of this 10, each one of you all bring 10. Then that 10, each one of y'all bring 10. And let's show them what we're doing now. So then we strategize. So now we start looking at ourselves with respect. We start to understand that we are not the N-word.
Right.
And our women ain't B's and H's. You understand?
Right.
Regardless if it's the ones you don't even want to deal with, right? So now you'll stop arguing about ideology. You're a Christian. That's the white man, Jesus. You know, that's what Black people say, right?
Yeah.
But ain't that what they say? They
Yeah.
beat it into us in religion, right?
Yes.
In slavery, right?
Yep.
So it's a question I always ask that nobody ever answers. Let's say Christianity was beat into us into slavery.
Okay.
I say hypothetically, I'm gonna give you that. So was the word, pardon my French, so was the word nigger.
Yeah.
Beat into you into slavery. So what's the difference in white man Christianity and the white man's nigger then?
Right.
If you can hold on to the N-word and praise that, why are you mad with them for holding on to something that's making them better?
Right.
We have to understand we're not gonna have all the exact same ideology.
Right.
But we should have the same goal.
Exactly. End goal should still look the same. But I do believe that people want to see us start the programs. Once we get it started, like the meeting, and we're gonna have a meeting of the minds, you and I probably and the other brother you had on your show. I do want us to have that meeting. But I do believe that once we start and they start seeing the programs come into fruition, I do believe that people start moving toward that direction. But it's gonna take a minute. It's gonna take, them making sure that you're not just starting to just to put it out there and then walk away from it. I do believe that it's going to take a minute for us to, for it to be recognized that it's okay to jump aboard. Because, Black folk, we'll talk about stuff like this. We talk about Black folk just try to work with us, that try to work us into being free. For instance, Marcel Dixon, Grand Master. That's, I'm always talking about that because we got that brother. We left him in jail. He's in jail right now. And what folks saying? We talked against the brother. The brother was trying to walk you into maybe he didn't do it according to what you thought he should. But if you thought that he was doing it wrong, why don't we see them people stepping up now and saying, okay, well, let me show you how to do it the right way. We don't see that, do we? But we still heard a lot of talk, even with Ice Cube, which one? I get them mixed. I don't, I love him, but I don't, I'm not familiarized with. I know the music, but he just got how much billions of dollars, right? From the NFL, right? People gonna talk stuff about that. They were talking about that. I'm like, the dude got money for your Black businesses. What now what you got to say? We still talking noise against people that's trying to help you to be free. How do we change that mindset to start recognizing that the Roland Martins and the some of these folks that's supposed to be so big and helping Black folk, they ain't coming up with no conclusions. I have never heard a conclusion coming from Tariq Nasheed, a positive one as far as helping Black folk to be free. I heard him talk about a museum, but I've never heard him coming up with a conclusion to the matter as far as what we're looking at right here today. As far as Roland Martin, you don't hear conclusion. I hear him telling folk to vote for people that ain't gonna do nothing for you. I don't hear conclusion of the matter when we have other YouTubers that's coming up causing a lot of confusion and friction, but I never hear a conclusion or them have a program. Never. Maybe I'm wrong. Go ahead.
No, for the most part, you're right. But we're still stuck in the 60s, right?
Yes.
Let me show you what I mean.
Please.
Like Malcolm X said one time, why is it an entertainer is leading black people? Entertainers don't lead nobody else. See, I'm gonna show you something, right? I haven't said anything about Ice Cube getting that money from the NFL, even though I'm a little suspicious because I did you ever read his Plan for Black America?
I read it.
The whole plan.
I read. I ain't gonna say I read word for word. I skimmed through it. You know what I'm saying?
Let me show you what you have to do. When you have to read the whole thing, because toward the end, this is what it said. This contract with Black America is a two-way street. Black people, we have to start acting a certain way. We have to start doing this. We have to start being better. Most people didn't go through. I read the whole thing on my. People got mad with me. I read it 3 times on my channel. And if you listen to it, if you read the whole thing, you will see like, damn, black people got to really stop being black to get any of this contract. Then he was doing an interview and he made sure he let people know when I say black, I'm talking about Native Americans and everything because they were black too. You have to read the whole thing and listen to the whole. And people, well, you against it because it said a contract for Black America. I say, no, read the whole contract. Just like people didn't read the whole Black Lives Matter mission statement.
Oh,
right?
We already know what that's about. That's totally.
But how many people
totally
read?
Crap.
But how many people was reading the whole mission statement and then read what it was about, though? I'm talking about who literally read. How many people talked about it, read the whole thing?
Nobody. Not a whole lot of people. But you know what? We have to start recognizing it. Even if we read it, we have to start because you have to understand. Some people everybody think different. For my foundation, they may say, "Hey, it should be for blah blah blah. It should be blah blah blah." Everybody gonna have an opinion about something you're trying to do. Even for the dump trucks that you're doing, they gonna have an opinion. Say, "Oh, Bakari, you should do it for blah blah blah." Also, we have to understand, let's start somewhere. Let's not just look at it and just negate it because it had a sentence wrong. Guess what? My thing is, let's start doing for black people, period. This is about us right now. It's not about brown, because I don't ever include brown folk in nothing I do, because they don't ever include you, your black behind in nothing they do. So I will never talk about Indians. I will never talk about Mexicans. I talk about black folk. I talk about the Moors. I talk about us black people, period. What are we willing to do moving forward for us? Only us. I'm not talking about Mexicans. I'm talking about black people.
Can I give one solution right now?
Please.
And I'm going to say this. I ain't asking for a boycott. Because a boycott means
I don't want a boycott. Nothing.
Come to your store till you treat me better. No. If you are in a position.
Right.
Let's start saying it's not an inconvenience to drive an extra 5 or 10 miles to a black business.
Thank you. Say that again. I need you to say that for the people in the back. Say it again, louder. I'm going to turn my computer up right here. Go ahead.
Let's stop saying it's an inconvenience to drive an extra 5 or 10 miles to go to a black-owned business. They had the first African-American-owned gas, because I'm going to show you how they divide us again, right?
Come on.
They put it all in the paper online. The first black-owned gas station in Clayton County. And I went over there and I started going like once a week, like 43 miles. I would drive that for the field. And the owner was like, dude, you live a long ways. I said, it ain't about how far I live.
Right.
It's the principle. Right. And he understood what I said. So me and him became cool, right? But they said the first black-owned, right? So I was talking to one of my Nigerian brothers who was over there and who was going in that store. He said, I'm proud he got that store. But he said, they don't want us to be the same. So they're going to say the first black owned. He said it's not the first black owned. He says the first African-American owned. Let me show you what else a Nigerian used to. We had this gas station and that gas station. We black too. But
Wow.
he said, but white people wrote in the newspaper, first black owned.
That's division again. And we have to start recognizing that when they do that, because we're not recognizing that. We still don't recognize who we're dealing with. We still don't know the enemy and their tactics. Why? After all this time.
And that's why that brother said, he said, I'm proud because it is the first African American owned.
Yes.
And I'm proud to see that African American get that store.
Yes.
He said, but they lied when they said it was the first black owned. Because we black too. Yeah. And he damn sure was black because he was about 4 shades darker than me.
Mark Hardy, stop.
I'm being honest.
I want us to talk about one more. I want you to see this video I'm getting ready to play. Okay, you got to see this. I'm gonna share my screen. It's not gonna be a whole long one, but you got to see this. Please help me. Please help me with this. I'm gonna try to keep my composure, but I need you to see this one. I'm gonna share my screen again. Y'all know I'm bad at this. Okay, hold on here. Hold on. I'm gonna share my screen, and y'all gonna help me out because I'm gonna tell you what, I had a whole fit with this one. Let's go to this right here. I think it's it. No. I gotta find it, y'all. Bear with me, y'all. Okay, right here. I want y'all to see this. We're gonna talk about this bad boy right here. We're gonna talk about this bad booger right here. Okay, here we go.
Incident that gives us a look at what happened from another angle. And it doesn't look good for Sesame Place. Our Jeff Cole joining us live now. And Jeff, this video shows something went terribly wrong that day at the park.
Yeah, I would guess for the perspective of both the family and Sesame Place, both now would agree that something did go terribly wrong. Certainly the video seems to cast real doubt on an early explanation by Sesame Place when they tried to describe what had happened here last Saturday. A steady flow of visitors entered Sesame Place nearly a week after video of the apparent snubbing of 2 black children emerged, prompting claims of racism.
My kid's gonna enjoy this, whether these people don't want to interact with them. I mean, it's bothering, but I'm still gonna come, you know.
The controversy wasn't enough to keep some families away, but the image of Sesame character Rosita waving off the 6-year-old girls has taken hold.
I saw a TikTok video where one of the characters skipped the black person.
What did you think, honey?
I think that is very disrespectful and that is racist.
Park management argued Sunday the costumed worker was not rejecting the girls, but refusing parents' requests to hold other kids for photos. But video released by the family's lawyer appears to show no one near the children, and Rosita immediately greets a white child. In a Wednesday press conference in Manhattan, the family's attorney warned he had the video.
We also can prove that the first statement that this company released was completely bogus.
Right. Sesame Place did not immediately respond to a request for comment, but in a detailed statement Thursday, it wrote, "We take this extremely seriously. We are heartbroken by what these young girls and this family experienced in our park. It is antithetical to our values, principles, and purpose." Why is it terrible?
Because it's racist, yes.
But you came here today.
Well, my daughter's birthday is here. I'm going to come.
A protest is planned for the park on Saturday, while some questioned coming here today.
Well, I think it's pretty disheartening. I'm kind of confused about the situation, and it just makes me really sad. But here I am today, so I know that's not the best.
But I want you to hear something. Hold on,
Here
family.
today.
I want you to listen to this. Go ahead. Hold on.
Girls and this family experienced in our park, it is antithetical to our values, principles, and purpose. Why is it terrible?
Because it's racist, yes.
But you came here today.
Well, my daughter's birthday is here. I'm going to come.
A protest is...
Okay, that right there. That's right there. Hold on. Woo, I'm hot, and I'm tired. Even though you know how they treat you, you still gonna spend your money. 2 black folk that I just saw said my daughter's birthday, and the other woman said, okay, but I'm still gonna come. I'm still gonna force them to take my money, even though I know that my child may be disrespected, may be racially whatever, but I'm still gonna give you my money because it's my daughter's birthday. What the hell is wrong with black people, do we or will we ever have any self-respect? If somebody is treating me like that, you think I'm gonna go and give you my money? I will never visit Sesame Place or Sesame nothing. And I'm not gonna boycott you because I cannot teach you how not to be racist. Then when I hear they said something about training. They said you cannot, it's not a training issue. It's a racial issue. You cannot train somebody not to be a racist, okay? Then they want to tell me, oh, you didn't see nothing over here. That didn't happen. This is what happened. Oh, we dumb and stupid now? We can't see the video that the kid, she did like that? And then you want to lie and say, oh, the parent wanted us to hold more kids. That ain't had nothing to do with it. You was walking past. Why would the parent say, hey, hold my child when you walking past and you shaking hands with everybody but the black kids? But you want to tell me what I saw I didn't see. Help me out, Bakari. Help me out.
You know, our eyes, black people eyes, our eyes will lie to us, I guess, right?
Obviously. Because she showed. They said what? Oh, that wasn't what it was. It was, you want to convince me it was something else when I saw what I saw. Black folk.
I'm gonna be honest with you, and I hate to say it like this, and I hope nobody take this the wrong way.
Say it.
But those two women, the one who said they know they racist or whatever, but she's going anyway.
Dummies.
The other one that's still going because it's her child's birthday. I hope they don't get nothing in the lawsuit. I hope they don't get one red cent because you were okay with it.
I think that was a different family. I think they were a different family. The ones that's bringing the lawsuit is not the two women that were still coming. So I'm not gonna say.
Yeah, I hope they're not a part of it. I'm talking about those two women.
Yeah. Okay.
I hope they're not a part of it because you're willing.
So.
Because you're willing to put up with it, right? So what it should be, right? We have gotten. Think about all this lawsuit money we ain't got, right? From deaf police and all that. But it hasn't
changed anything.
But watch this. We ain't put nothing together to say, you know what? The people that done got their lawsuit money, let's build this.
Right. Oh my God. Please say that again.
And then once we build this, let's advertise it to our people. Let's name it Boom Quisha and Ray Ray's place. You understand? Let's name it that.
You stupid.
I'm just saying. So our people can come. And we gonna do it, the way it should be done. And we gonna take care of us the way we should take care of us. Now,
Ray's place.
Yeah, you remember the movie Eddie Murphy had Boom Boom Room?
Yeah,
we gonna have Ray place. You know, Boom Quisha and Ray, whatever they want to call it, right? And
I'm serious. We do need a place called Boom Quisha.
Yes. So now we can name it this, and now this is where we're going. So instead of getting on the plane, flying to LA and flying to Florida to go to Disney World, who have had all these bigoted cartoons and all that and all their shows.
Pedophilia, big time cartoons. Pedophilia. That's what Disney stood for.
So now
pedophilia. Go ahead, though.
So now we can get on the plane and fly
to Bonquisha's place.
Yes, let's go there, right? let's go there. Let's make that attractive. See, this is the thing, right? White people do all that building, but they're doing it for them. They're doing it for themselves. You understand? Mm-hmm. We happen to be here so we can go. We happen to be here or we can benefit. You understand? But why is it we the only people that when it comes to race, where it's all of a sudden it's a problem to the rest of the world, when we want to take care of us. But it's okay to have Chinatown. It's okay to have Cambodia Town.
Right.
It's okay to have Jew Town. It's absolutely okay to have white America. It's not, it ain't no white town, it's white America. It's okay to have all of that. But how many of us want to take a trip to the Oyotonya village in South Carolina to go see some more African culture? Wow. How many of us want to take a trip to some of the Gullah Islands in Charleston, South Carolina? Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? And well, we still have some of our culture. But here in Georgia, you know what islands they go to? They go to Tybee Island. And I was talking to this lady, and she said she from around Savannah. I said, you a Geechee, huh? She didn't know because she moved to Pennsylvania when she was about 4. Mm-hmm. So then I was talking to her mom. I said, y'all Geechees. She was like, how you know? I say, because your daughter told me where y'all from. She said, yeah, we Geechees. I say, that's why y'all eat so much rice like the way y'all eat it. And y'all cook it about 5 different ways. She was like, yeah. I said, because y'all Geechees. And the mama was like, yeah, we are Geechees. And my friend, so her and her family, her daughters, her grandchildren, right? They went to visit Tybee Island. I say, you know what you should do while you're on Tybee Island, right? I say, you should try to do some research because your family is Geechee. Because people go to Tybee Island. Now people is paying to go to Tybee Island, and it's a resort area, and it's a nice vacation area. But that was Geechee land that they took and made it. That was Gullah land.
But see, you have to understand, Curry, this is the problem. When you don't educate yourself, you don't know. I ain't even know nothing about this place. Where's this place at? And what is it? What is it called again?
Talking about Tybee Island, it's in Georgia.
Yeah. In Georgia.
Yeah, down by Savannah. It's down by
Savannah. Spell that name again, because I'm gonna look it up.
Tybee, Tybee Island. Erica Howard, you still in the chat? If you still in the chat, you ever heard of Tybee Island? It's down by Savannah. But that was all of those islands now, because that's the most popular one. But it's about 5 different islands down there that people go to. Okay. So the school, the middle school, the grade school take a 2-day trip to the islands down there, right?
Wow.
So when my kids went, I made sure my kids, they wanted to go, okay, you going. Okay. So when they went, I made sure that they knew the history of those islands. Okay. I say, you do know this was Black land. Wow. These enslaved Africans owned this land after their enslavement. It was taken, now it's in a resort. And my son said he went there, and they was telling me, my son talk about this more than my daughter did. When they were younger anyway, now my daughter talk a lot. My son was like, no, they didn't say the teachers and stuff. A couple of them, no. The students didn't believe him. They asked a couple of teachers who didn't know. Then one teacher was like, telling them, yeah, he's telling the truth. That's what it was. So they asked him how he know. He said, oh, my daddy teach me.
Wow. Look at there. Good job.
So they take our stuff. Think about it. They take it, not just with the music. They take your land,
everything,
and sell it back to you.
Everything.
And we don't find value in it.
And change the history on it.
Yep. And we don't find value in it until they touch it. Right. Think about this, right? I saw this video about 5 years ago. It was this lady in I forget what country in Africa. I want to say South Africa, maybe. But anyway, but it was a few countries. But this one lady, she was talking. She said, in Africa, we still walk on diamonds. And she was showing the diamonds in her grandmother's backyard. And she said, white people was trying to buy. And she said her grandmama told them, she said her grandmama told her, we're not selling these diamonds to no white people.
That's right.
We're gonna see if we can. This is what she said. Her grandmama said. She did a 2-hour lecture. And that diamond she pulled up, the one she brought with her, was about this big. Can you see that?
Wow, really?
And she said, my grandmama said, we're gonna see if we can get African Americans to come here and mine for us and take the gold, and we can share with them.
Look at there.
And they still have not sold it. But I'm saying that because if you can, what the woman say, she say, we still walk on diamonds the way Americans walk on gravel.
Yes. So I mean, we have to understand that because they just found more diamonds and gold in Congo, right? Recently. And Uganda.
Yep. So watch this, right? So then there's no value to it because we have so much of it. So then you find people that come over that have nothing.
And look
so we're gonna take it and hoard it and say, now it's worth so much. So now we want to put value
on it. After they had it first. But you have to, where's that video? Oh, I got one more video I'm gonna show you. I gotta find it, but it's one more. We got to show you this one. And it was talking about what they doing to Africa and why Africa is the way it is. Hold on, I got to show you that one. That was another one. I'm glad you said that one. But go ahead, you keep talking. I'm gonna show you that video too.
So now, so now they put it on it. Diamond is a girl best friend. buy your wife a diamond ring, buy your fiance a diamond ring. So I have lots of friends from Africa, right?
Yes.
I deal with people that deal with me. I don't care
Yeah,
what
right.
you understand. I deal with the black people that deal with me. You want to deal with me, I just don't deal with you, right?
Right.
So I was talking to these women. I'm like, all y'all say, I say, y'all don't want to date me because I'm an African American. Because we would just be talking noise to them. They were like, no. I said, why don't none of y'all have? Because it was like 5 of them. I couldn't date them. I'm just talking noise, right? I said, all y'all say y'all married. Why don't none of y'all have on a ring? She said,
Right.
all of them say that's white people stuff. I said, what you mean?
Wow.
He said, a ring does not mean you're married. A
Wow.
ring just means you spent money on something that's not even that valuable.
Right.
We know we're married here, so we don't
Right.
do what white folks say do when it comes to that. We
Wow.
don't buy, we don't wear. My husband, I told my husband I don't want a diamond ring.
Wow.
We gonna live our African culture. See, if we
Yeah.
wear jewelry, we just wearing it because we like it. We're not wearing it to represent.
Yeah.
And none of them are like most of the African women I know that's married, husband and wife.
Yeah.
They don't have anything on their hands.
Wow. Man, but you have to understand a lot of this is American stuff, okay?
Yeah,
It's
what we
always
do
about
now.
spending money. It's
Yeah,
always
what
about
we
us
do.
spending money. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
never about, it really doesn't mean anything because you have a man who wear a ring and still doing whatever he wants to do. And then you have a man that's not wearing a ring, but is committed and is committed, period.
Yeah,
And that's what it's about.
Because over here we had to aggregate several cultures together
Yeah.
to make our own. We
Yeah.
still had some of our ancient cultures.
Right.
Then we was here enslaved by people. So then we got cultures from
Yeah.
German enslavers, Irish enslavers, Native American enslavers,
Yeah.
British enslavers. So then we put all those cultures together.
Yeah.
And we came out and created, but then they can take our culture and sell our culture back to us.
Right.
As we say the word swag, they will take our swag, sell it back. They see the way we like to dress, then they make the clothes and sell it to us.
They doing the same thing in Africa. I'm gonna show you this video. I got to show you this video. It's not a long one. It's not the last one I'm gonna share, but I got to share you this one. It'll show you why Africa is the way it is. This will help us to understand some things, family. But let me share my screen again. Here we go. Okay, let's see here. Where I gotta find it. There it is. Let's go back to here. Okay, here we go. All righty. Can y'all see my screen? Make sure y'all can see my screen. Okay. I want to take it all the way back to the basics. So y'all.
Africa historically, sub-Saharan Africa has been fundamental to the global prosperity of the advanced countries. Okay, and Africa had a role to play. It has a role as a raw material producer. We will not allow sub-Saharan Africa to escape that. Okay, we do everything to keep sub-Saharan Africa where it is, also impoverished. It's absolutely vital for the prosperity of everyone else. So let's get clear about that. Okay, and this means all the economic structures, all the global institutions, and the economics we teach everyone is all designed to keep Africa exactly where it is.
Oh, God.
Have you ever thought about going solar, but were put off by the upfront cost or having to wait decades?
And whether it is Europe or US or now China, it's always the same. We need Africa to be impoverished because we need those raw materials and we need them dirt cheap. Okay, so that's the message. It doesn't mean to say that there's nothing Africans can do. Of course there is. Okay, but this is the opposition that they're fighting. This is what it's about. Because if Africa does do something different, I assure you living standards of all those in Europe and North America and Asia is going to fall. Okay, and that is a big price to pay. I assure you that the West is not going to allow that without a big fight. Okay, so this is what it's fundamentally about. What I want to show you is how these structures are operating. It's just 20 minutes, so we can't do very much, but just to give you a little bit of an idea, And why I keep the ideology part there is because we are part of the producers of ideology. At universities and academic institutions, we are complicit in this whole enterprise. Okay, so the job of many Western academics is to convince Africans they have to keep doing what they're doing. Okay, and to show them it's your fault that you're poor. It's not our fault. It's your fault that you're poor. You know, so this is what we do in academic institutions, and I want to show that.
Okay, I just wanted to touch on just a little bit. That thing is like 28 minutes, but you guys can pull that up as why the West wants Africa to remain poor. Want you guys to really watch that. It's an amazing video. But what did they say? They said two things. They said we want to make they said they want to continue. They need those raw materials, and we need it to. They need to get it for cheap, for nothing, right? So if Africa, if you don't know your value, guess what? We can come in and tell you whatever, get that raw material for much of nothing, then we're gonna sell it back to you at a high price. Duh, dummies. I shouldn't say that. Please forgive me, y'all. Not talking about my brothers. I'm just saying we got to do this. We got to do more of this because white folk tell you it ain't no value, but you got a whole land full of it. They ain't got none, but they don't want to come to you and get it for cheap. But you giving it to them for cheap. Also, they said what? The living conditions of the West, like France and all those other countries, would fall if Africa did what they needed to do and charge them for everything that comes out of Africa. You charge they behind above and beyond. And I guarantee you things will change. But
you know what? I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree. And I'm a firm believer in that's really almost where the Black Revolution need to start because we need to get rid of all those crooked governments. Remember how
behind the government, it's not just the government, it's the puppets. They're the puppets. You have to understand France, the Dutch, British, they still got their hand in Africa, and they still pay them trillions of dollars a year. Trillions, like $500,000. Africa is still paying France per month. That's a lot of money to be still paying a country. It might be per day or I'm gonna say per month. I know I heard it, but I'm not sure, so don't quote me on it. But I know 500 what they're paying. So we have to get to that point. So, well, what are you still paying them for? Why? You still Haiti? They charge Haiti trillions of dollars. Us, they told them we're gonna come and invade you. It was a crazy amount of money. And then Haiti is just as poor they want to be. But Haiti had all this money. Haiti was on top before, remember? Back in the day, Haiti was on top. Now look at Haiti now. But guess who had their hand in it? Every time the West has their hand in anything dealing with Black folk, we're gonna be at the bottom. Period. Go ahead, Bakari.
You know what? You're absolutely correct. That's why I say we have to get rid of those crooked governments because they're and hope. Like if you study like Burkina Faso with Thomas Sankara, right? Once he got rid of those crooked governments, right? It took, of course, some of our own to come in and say, we don't want you no more. They attacked him after, I'm gonna give you an example. Like with everything, what's his name? Get credit for Gaddafi. Everything he get credit for. Go look and see who did that first, and you will see where it was Thomas Sankara who did it. Who did it first? It was Thomas Sankara. Thomas Sankara did it first, and since Thomas Sankara was able to do it first, they got rid of him.
Wow.
Paid some of their own. Go look and see how he took Burkina Faso from desert to growing food to being self-sufficient to what he told the French, and this is one of my favorite quotes. I say it a lot. When the French offered him money to get on their feet, he said, "No, he who feeds you controls you."
Woo, boy! Wow.
So what he did was he took every private jet that the country owned except one, sold it, put the money back into the country. He took every limo that people in the country owned,
Uh-huh.
with the exception of one, and sold it. He sold every Mercedes, put it back into the economy, right?
Wow.
So once he did all of that, right? Once he showed what he was about, of course, it was easy to get somebody to come in with their hands.
Don't say back to the economy. He gave it to the people.
Can't he?
He gave it to the people.
Okay, Jake, my
The
son.
airplanes.
Come on, son. Talk. Come on, son.
My son said he didn't put it in the economy. He gave
I
it
love
to
it.
the people, which was the economy. But the point that I'm making, like, and so he did education, gave women a position outside of just submitting to men, right? The food program, people talking about they was hungry, he created some, so now everybody's eating, everybody have a farm, and everybody's working together. And he drove the world cheapest car for himself. He drove something like a Yugo, like $4,000.
Wow. I remember them Hugos.
And out here, you can order them out the newspaper. So after like 4 years, it was some of his own from Burkina Faso that attacked him for the French, so they could have control.
Wow, we need to hold on, Bakari. RCH, Erica, ask why. And also for the fast, what is that?
Forecast. That's the one you was talking about on my channel the other night.
Yes. Okay, forecast. Welcome, you guys. Welcome. Go ahead, Bakari. I just want to shout them out.
There's so much we can do. I'm a firm believer in us, right? I'm a firm believer in us. We can do anything that anybody else, any other group of people has ever done, right?
Uh-huh.
But I also believe in, if you're asking someone else to take care of you,
come on now,
we will forever be in a perpetual state of confusion because we are looking outside of ourselves,
right,
for our solution. We're looking to the people that created the problem. We're looking to them,
yes,
to give us a solution. To give us a solution.
That's the craziest thing I've heard.
But
you
when
want
we look in the
people
mirror,
that's drowning you to save you. Really?
Yep. And when you look in the mirror, you literally see the solution.
Yep. Yes. Us. Yes.
We are the solution. And we just got to understand, and we have to have confidence and belief in ourselves. I like boxing, right? That we can do it. So I was watching this fight. I watched it this morning. I forgot it came on last night. Brother from Ghana, Isaac Dogbe, was fighting a brother from Mexico. Was fighting this guy from Mexico. Isaac Dogbe, he lost 2 times to this. He was undefeated. He fought this guy, beating. But him losing to this one Mexican, he had beat like 15 Mexicans in a row. But him losing to this one Mexican kind of stayed in his head, right?
Yes.
So he came back and he got him an African American trainer.
Oh,
he was winning. When things started getting tough, you could see him having doubts, like, can I still win?
Dang.
But that brother motivated him. And then in the last 2 rounds, you could see from his trainer able to motivate him where his confidence came back.
Okay.
I stumbled twice, but I'm better than you. I ain't gonna stumble no more.
Wow.
You can't kick me no more.
Wow.
And that's the same type of confidence we have to have. Y'all did this to us once. Y'all did it to us twice. You did it to us 3 times.
Not again.
But you ain't stopping us no more. So when
we keep doing it though. Bakari,
I'm sorry.
We keep doing the same thing over and over. It's almost like we're not recognizing the punch. We're not recognizing. We're not done. You know, you have to learn the fighter, right? You watch the fighter the first few seconds, the first 10 minutes, whatever, to learn their style, right? But that's not what we're doing, because they still punching you in the same side of your face. You're still doing the same move, and they still, and we still getting hit. How do we, or what do we do about these Black folk that have sold us out What is the plan? How do we deal with that? In forecast, you can come on. I got the link if you want to. If you have something to say, come on. But what do we do? We're still in this fight, and we're not fighting no different. Talk about the fight. What did he do? How did he come out of it? He was encouraged by his own, right?
Yes, and not only encouraged, by his own, he came with a. So in the midst of it,
mindset change.
I switched my fight plan because he's starting to defeat me this way. So now I'm about to do something different.
Yes.
And when I did something different, now he don't know what to do because he's stuck. Exactly. So it's once we change, once again, a change of mind. Change our mind, change our situation.
Yes.
Because once we change our mind and do something different, now you're going to make them stumble for a minute like, we didn't even expect this.
And then we keep switching it up.
Yep. They're not marching.
Right.
They're not asking for no reparations.
Right.
They're not doing none of that. We go down to we go down in the Black community. They're not robbing one another.
Right.
They are not killing one another. The women ain't complaining about the men ain't complaining about the women.
How do we change that mindset? How do we change the mindset, Bakari?
How do we change it? That's a difficult question.
Why not education? We got to start with education.
Yes.
It's going to start there. And it's going to start in these churches. I'm not saying because you got a lot of Black folk in churches, okay? I don't believe in that. I'm just saying we got a whole lot of folk. That's where you can start. These preachers, if you for Black folk, start preaching different. Start telling them how great they are. Start talking about their history. Start talking about their culture. Start talking about the tradition. Stop talking about this. Start talking. Because how many Black folk go to church every Sunday? Okay. And still giving tithes and offering, and they still doing, crazy stuff, whatever. That's the subject for another day. But I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Hey, you know something. I'm gonna tell you something. This is what I say.
Go ahead.
It's people don't, and I understand. They don't agree, and which is okay. We don't have to agree on everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
We need to find these smaller churches
and
make them revolutionary again. And what I mean by finding smaller churches and make them revolutionary again, look what we did back in the day with our church. Our church was our main meeting place.
Right.
We have to get back if we're gonna use it, if we're gonna use the church to be good for us, right? We're gonna have to get back some of the men, gonna have to get back some of the revolutionary men. It's gonna have to start back.
I don't think we ain't gonna touch churches right now because you had the Black church that sold out Black folks having an abortion with Margaret Singer, and they partnered up. Remember that? They partnered up.
But I'm talking about the small revolutionary churches. Like I have a friend. You ever watch this thing on YouTube called The Movement with Dr. F. Keith Slaughter? Right?
Is he preaching? Is he a preacher? He preaching? I ain't watching.
Yeah. But I'm gonna tell you
sorry.
something. I understand. But I understand. But what I'm saying, like, if you was to see his church,
okay,
he got the red, black, and green flag hanging up in.
But what's he preaching? Is he preaching culture? Is he preaching heritage? Is he preaching?
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Is he preaching truth? Is he talking about what's going on right now?
That's exactly what he's preaching. He's also preaching that we need to have self-defense. So he offered free self-defense class in his church.
Well, I may have to listen to him. I like that.
He offered free gun training in his church.
What?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay. Now that's a different type of preacher. I'm just saying, I ain't never heard one preach like that.
He's a small church. That's who I talk to. I talk to the small churches.
Okay.
And when I look, I see, I can name other small churches. I can name
can he start preaching about the foundations? Can he start teaching? Maybe we can come together and have a meeting. This is serious. The ones that want to do, we need to plan a meeting. We need to plan a conference. I think Forecast talked about it. Coming a meeting place, a meeting group. He talked about that on your show the other day. We're serious about that. We need to do that. We need to come together as a Black think tank. We need to create our own think tanks. We need to start recognizing stuff in the Black culture that's hurting us and say, hey, you guys, look at this over here. This is a new drug, or this is a new movement. This is a new this, a new that. We're not following that. We're going to stay the course. We have to come up with a movement. It's not a Black activist. We don't need activists. They kill activists. If we have a movement, you can't kill a movement. You can kill a black activist, but it's hard to kill a black movement. That's what we create. We create a movement of becoming entrepreneurs, a movement of supporting foundations that's going to, we see in the future as far as an apprenticeship program. We're supporting foundations that has black love in it, teaching of newfound family, teaching black folk how to love on one another. And it doesn't mean that because I'm loving my own that I hate anybody else. I'm not studying anybody else right now. I am only person I'm concerned with right now is my blackness, is my black men, is our black boys, is our black families, our black girls, our black women. That's all. I don't care about the brown, nothing. I don't care about the immigrant. I'm talking about black folk. It's time for us to love on us. It's everybody else. We got to drown out everybody else because it's too much noise. It's too much noise going on right now. We have to get back to the place where we are supporting us. We're supporting these foundations. You put money behind them because these foundations cannot foundation anything because they're not giving us the grants. They're not giving us, they'll give you a loan, but they're not giving you a grant for a black corporation, a black foundation, because I've applied and they're not giving to us. They're telling, oh, you don't qualify. Okay, but you gave me a PPP loan. That was the people that wasn't even doing anything. But what about the black foundation that's really, really, really trying to do something different for the community? And they looking at us like, I don't think so. You don't qualify. Why don't we qualify? And we need to look more into that. How many black companies, foundations are getting money from the government to move forward in your foundations? I can tell you it's probably on one hand. There's not a whole lot that they're giving money that's going to help you to survive or help you to teach your own that they are somebody, that they are worth it. And it's time for you guys to build your own tables. They're not going to support foundations like that. They want the foundations like, Black Lives Matter, who is supporting and then been indoctrinated, infiltrated by LGBT. Now, if I come through the foundation talking about men can have babies and transgender, LGBT, teaching masturbation to our children and homosexuality to our children, oh, they'll support that all day long. But come up with a positive black foundation and you can't find no money from nowhere. And you can barely find black folk that want to help. Black folk that'll look at you and be like, well, I don't think so right now. I'll come back in another year. Another year, the foundation may be dead because I need the help. I'm just saying.
Because I need the help
to do better
right
Go
now.
ahead.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. And I'm gonna tell you, and the reason I mentioned small churches, right? And mention this church, and you're talking about the foundation, right? This brother, and he's always, and I mean, he's doing something. He's always doing something for the community. He went out and they have a small church on this corner. It's still a small church, other churches right there on the corner, right? Which I don't agree with, which he don't agree with either. So he tried to get the other church. They want to be closer. No. So he got the other. So I'm gonna show you these church. So they bought another building right behind him on the street behind him, right? The small church I'm talking about. They bought the building to help the homeless, to give them somewhere where they can wash their clothes every day.
Wow.
Feed people on the inside. So what I did was, as they were renovating it, I didn't have, they bought the building and they're doing it for our people. So what I did was, I went back there and I cleaned it out for free. I got rid of all of that stuff, and then I went back and I donated 2 washing machines and 2 dryers.
Yes.
So then it was a church. Then the church, like I said, the street is right behind the building, right behind the church, right? So then there's a church right next to the building, right? And I saw the preacher of that church, and I'm like, man, I'm here just helping. I see him doing something for the community. Man, needing help. You can come in, man. We need to start working together. This is why I need to work. My church has been down here forever. Why do I need to go work with another? I like, man, this for the people. Now, man, I'm for the church. See, this church good. I don't need you to pick up no paper, nothing off of mine. I'm like, all right, dude, don't worry about it. So, and now I see what they were talking about. That church, you right here. You don't want to come. They have a block party. So the church I'm talking about, the movement, it's called the Beloved Community. So they had a block party. Go invite the other church. The preacher won't show up. I don't know what he said, anything, but none of his members would even show up.
That is crazy. But this is
They are literally, they are less than 100. They are less than 100 yards apart.
I can't take. See, this is what bothers me right here, right here. When we try, positive people trying to do something in the Black community to free us, we walking toward freedom, and you got folk like that that's trying to hold you back. Well, we better stay. We gonna support everybody. We go. How is that happen? How has that been helping you lately by supporting everybody? We've never been able to support everybody because they come and take and then they run and start their own and don't include you at all. We've not learned that yet.
Yep. So
when are we going to get it?
Yep. So
when are we going to get it? I'm just so.
I don't know. You know what Barbara Sizemore said? Black people still don't get it. You know what Barbara Sizemore is, right?
I don't know, but I'm so frustrated.
Look her up on YouTube. She was a psychiatrist. She was great.
What's her name?
Barbara Sizemore. Just
Okay.
listen to some of her lectures. She's no longer with us. She's an ancestor now. But listen to some of her lectures. Black people still don't get it. But it's this church in Chicago. He's my brother-in-law church, right? He got a small church. And he linked up with 3 small churches like his. All of them together may have had 1,000 members. If that, right? But what they did with the tithes from the church, right? What they were trying to do. So all of them together, they had came up with some money. And they said they wanted to buy some of the homes in the community and renovate them, right?
Okay.
So they had people in the church who could renovate. My nephew is an electrician. So they had everything in order. That stuff was going to get done for free. So they went to a big 2 mega churches and said, this is what we're trying to do for our community. We need y'all help. We ain't big enough and we don't have all the funds that we need so we can control our community. I'm telling you what the meeting said. So we can control our community, give our elderly somewhere to live and help get our people off the streets and they can get a home that they can afford, a nice home, right? You know what the 2 mega churches told them?
What?
That ain't none of our problem. We just trying to save souls.
Oh my God, Lord, I can't take this no more. I can't take it.
So when I mention the church, that's why I always separate the little from the big. And when I see that little church trying to become a mega church, I stay away from them.
But you see, these little churches, they don't get a whole lot of support. They don't, because a lot of Black folk will not support him because he's doing something different. He's not within the norm. He's not, doing it the way we did it in 1963, he's doing it the way it should be done. And it's always should have been done. There's no reason why we should have changed anything in 1963. We should have came together and started allowing them to educate their children. That's the biggest thing right there that we went wrong in. And this is why our children act and talk the way they talk, because they indoctrinated our children with their education instead of us allowing our Black teachers to continue educating. Stick with your Black system. We could have poured our tax money into those schools, but we didn't. We thought their schools was better than our schools. Then when you got over there, you was treated like dogs and you still left your children in there. They didn't even want you over there. They was treating our kids like dirt. That right there being done to your child for the last 70 years. What do you look around? This is the result. Look at your children today. This is the result of you allowing your enemies to educate your children. I'm gonna keep saying it until we get it.
See, where are you from? You from a city, ain't you?
I am from Indiana.
Oh, so you from Indianapolis?
Indiana. It was Gary. Michael Jackson. That's
you from Gary?
Yes, I'm from Gary. Indiana.
You got family from
I have family still, well, not in Gary, but they moved to the surrounding areas. Gary got so bad that
I know all the jobs and stuff left.
Yeah, I remember when they did that. The mills went. We had a JCPenney, Sears. The downtown was packed with all these businesses. And as soon as that Black mayor got in town, all them white stores left. So the mentality I always saw, we always had a Black mayor that tried to bring stuff, but they gave that Mayor Hatcher. He was the mayor since forever. He always would try to fight for Gary, and they wouldn't give him a dime. Put a white mayor in there, and now they get that's a mess.
Hey, look, I'm gonna tell you something. Erica Howard in the chat. It was this. She's from Macon. Okay. She's from Macon, right? And it was this Black guy running for mayor in Macon. He's truly is a self-made millionaire, right? Okay. And he got to know a lot of people. And Erica was telling me, the dude helped bring so many jobs to Macon and put stuff and had them in the black community and black people getting paid, right?
They wouldn't even support him.
When this dude ran for mayor,
They ran.
Black folk, they voted for the white boy.
See, help me.
And get what? And get wait, watch this. Guess the first thing the white boy did when he became mayor.
What?
Hire more police.
Of course, white police.
Yeah.
But guess what? You have to understand, even with the Fannie, what's her name? And she's the DA. Used to be Paul Howard. Now remember Georgia. They had Paul Howard in there that brought charges against the police officer that murdered the guy that was at the Wendy's. You remember that? Then black folk, the police officer said, "We're gonna get you out." They put his partner, Marilyn, what's her name? Fannie Mae in, or Fannie, whatever her name is, in, and she's being supported by the police. Black folk voted her in, and everything that Paul Howard was getting ready to do as far as bringing that dude up on charges, the police officer up on charges, she dropped those charges, and now no charges against him, because you have to understand the police board, the police department was backing her. The lawyer of the young man,
you talking about Keisha Lance Bottoms, right?
Huh?
Keisha Lance Bottoms, right?
No. This was Fannie Mae. Her Fannie Mae is the new DA of Georgia. She's a black woman that was working with Paul Howard. They voted him out, and voted her in. But you have to understand, we have to start recognizing when black folk are being backed by the police, that's who they're working for, black people. What is it going to take for you to understand that? The lawyer of the young man, the police officer that shot the black guy, he was supporting her. So you mean to tell me you're going to be that dumb to not understand that this woman is working for the police department? This woman is being backed by the police department. This woman was being backed by the attorney that knew she was going to drop the charges, because that was something that needed to be done in order for her to get her the position she had. But we don't recognize that. We sat up there and voted against the man that put his career on the line for us, and we voted against him and brought in somebody totally different that was working for the police department. Yeah. We got to do better. We got to do better. I'm sick. We got to do better.
The reason I ask you about the country, because I'm going to be honest, smaller places, if you want to see black people come together and control something, in all honesty, we're going to have to go to smaller country places. And I'm just being honest. These cities, all these big cities, including Atlanta, is run by white people and extremely corrupt.
Yes. Oh God, extremely corrupt. This is why even in Chicago with that black guy, remember they had a black mayor, Harold Washington. I remember that. He ran too. Harold Washington did good the first time he ran. The second when they killed him. Then they talked about, he had a heart attack. You have to understand. That Harold Washington was doing things for black people. And remember, in New York, they had that other mayor. What was his name? They brought him up on some charges. He was sleeping with prostitutions. And what was that man's name in New York?
In DC.
Yes, DC. Remember, what's his name? He was doing for black people.
It's right on the tip of my tongue.
Oh my God, he was doing for black folk. Man, they brought the man up on drug charges. They brought him up on prostitute charges. They put him in jail. He came back and ran again and won again. I'm telling you, he's since died though. He's dead now. But that brother right there.
Yeah, I know you're talking about, but I'm from Mississippi and he's from Mississippi.
That dude was bad, honey. He was giving him crack or something to shout about.
He from Mississippi. He from Mississippi too.
Really, man.
Yeah, he's from Meridian,
he was
Mississippi.
On fire for black folk. And they turned around and tried to destroy his career. They tried, but he got out of jail, ran from here again, and won. That was the end of the day. Was like, oh my God, we just can't win, can't do nothing with him. Because DC was really, that's when black folk that would get in office was doing something for black people. Now these black folk running. I talked to the mayor that was running. He's black for here in North Carolina. And I asked him, I said, most of the time black folks see a black person running, we run because we know that you've sold us out. We know that they're not going to do for black people. We know.
His name Marion Barry.
Huh?
His name, Marion Barry.
Yes, Marion Barry. He was oh my God, he was off the chain. The white folk couldn't stand him because he was doing for black people. But we have got to understand and change the narrative and understand when we see a black person running, we got to challenge them. What are you going to do for black people? Isaac, welcome. We got to start understanding, what are you going to do for black people? Give me your black agenda and we're going to hold you accountable. So if we put you in there, you ain't going to do nothing. We will not vote for anybody, Democratic or Republican. It's got to be independent. That's the only people we need to start voting for. We need to have our own independent party. And I do believe that it's enough of us. We can support our own, but we have got to change the mentality to start voting for some of these black folk that's not being backed by white supremacy. We gotta look and see who's backing these people. If the police department is backing them, run like hell. Stop it. That's who does
And
that?
look, even
Who?
some of these movements that we follow on social media, you
Yes,
got to
stop
understand.
it.
If
Yes,
you listen to what a lot of these people is saying,
yes.
you can tell somebody is
Yes,
paying.
yes, yes. Okay, let's talk about that, and then we're not gonna be here all day. I'm not trying to be on here all day, but how can we start recognizing some people, like you said, when they start talking, we got to get on their webpage and start looking, see who's supporting them. Where's the money? Follow the money. Follow the money. Follow the money. How can we start telling the difference on black folk that's for you and black folk that's not?
Okay, first thing we have to do is stop allowing our emotions to control us, and we control. Everybody is emotional. Everybody have emotions.
Right.
But stop letting our emotions control us, and we learn to control our emotions. Now, I don't know how people feel about this movement, but the ADOS movement, American Descendant of Slavery, right? The leader of that, was part of a white. Oh my God, I did a show on
She's
that.
got a white woman she's sleeping with. What the hell? Come on.
But she was part of a. She's been a part of a white supremacist think tank.
She didn't even believe in half of the stuff she's talking about now. Y'all got to stop.
She's put there to cause division.
Yes.
She's put there to cause division. Now watch this. She don't have to do much today to cause division with people from Africa, right? But what she did was she caused division with black people in the United States, as if we ain't divided enough. She the first one that started Pan-Africanism is dead. So how is Pan-African? How do you kill an ideology? But
hold on. Even with that, black folks should have woke up and said, "Hold on, what are you saying? We got to stop following people that don't make sense. We got to stop following. How are you married to a white woman? Okay, you see my face, right? But you sitting up there talking about you for black folk.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying. Look, don't play with me.
Exactly. So now you don't want to. You're not a descendant of Africans that was enslaved. You're a descendant of slavery. So I looked up I did a show about it. I looked up the definition of slavery was an institution. So I said they are descendants of everything that encompasses the institution, which would be you are a descendant of the shipbuilder, you're a descendant of the slave owner, you're a descendant of the overseer, you're a descendant of the straw boss, but you are not a descendant of those Africans that was mistreated and was beaten. So then what they do is they start a narrative, and since people know, and it's sad to say in 2022 that if you put something in a book or something that black people have to study, majority of us still don't study because they have already played on your emotions, right? They always say things to get you wired up with your emotions, right? So now I can say anything since I'm emotionally tied to you and I'm not going to look it up. We're not African Americans because Jesse Jackson thought of African American in 1989, right? So I'm the person who always say, whenever I talk about this, my goal is to crush the Jesse Jackson lie. So, and I've shown several times, the term African American was started in 1782 by freed Africans. I say maybe Jesse Jackson has studied that and learned like shit. We used to call ourselves African American way back then, so we need to get back to calling ourselves African American. You understand what I'm saying? But they want to push all that. I know what I'm born and raised, right? But like Dr. John Henry Clark said, once you deny your ancestors, once you deny that you're African, the revolution is over. So you got people teaching you to follow somebody who just want to have you okay in a situation where you being abused as long as they give you a check.
Right.
So what if they gave you the check? Because I also heard her say, somebody called into a show one time and said, well, how about until they give us reparations, it's a group of us, let's start putting $25 together a month and start creating business. And she said, well, we ain't no business group. It was 2,500 people watching. This is her exact words.
Are you serious?
She said,
my God, I'm done.
She said,
but black folk will still support that nonsense.
You know what she said? Ain't none of us even got an extra $5 a month. So,
but you got money to go get your nails done. Give me that money.
So watch this though. So I got a friend. I got a friend that jumped on that movement. Me and him, We ain't tight as we once was because
Never
I say,
jump on that.
dude, you just parakeeting whatever they say and
Right.
just hating other black
No
people
research,
for no
nothing.
reason. I say, dude, you make like $150,000, $200,000 a year. You created your own business. You didn't even hire a couple people to work for you.
Right.
And you have let this woman convince you that you don't have $5 a month.
Oh my God.
I say, dude, how can
God.
she convince you don't have $5 a month?
Oh my God, I'm done. I'm done. I'm just, my heart just, you just hurt me right there. I'm sorry. This whole conversation is
Because
just,
they play on your emotional heartstrings. You understand what I'm saying?
yeah.
And once they start pulling on your emotional heartstrings and we control by our emotions, we forget about everything else. Now watch this. People like that, who can get a lot of people to follow them, right?
Yes.
They don't have to say, I'm a Pan-African. That's not what I'm saying. But what they do need to say is black people can unite. Because if you got the ability to get that
build. And we can build.
And if you got the ability to get that many people to follow you.
Can you imagine what $25, $10 would have done if everybody would have sent in $10 to start a small something, and then it would have grown?
Let me show you a plan I gave people one time, right? And it's a big number, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not a big number.
Right.
What I said was 20,000 people, right? 20,000 people. Because I ain't got it in front of me, so forgive me because I got to do my math while I talk.
Go ahead, do your math. Go ahead.
I said 20,000 people.
Because
I tried to make it simple. 20,000 people give $10 a month, right? That's $200,000 a month, right?
Come on now.
So then I said 200,000 times 12. That's $2,400,000 a year, right? In 1 year. So what I did, and I've shown this on you, people don't want to hear. Look, I'm gonna tell you something, right? It's not the fact that people don't, but I'm telling us we got to accept responsibility. So they're gonna get away from me because I'm asking us to do too much work together, right? So watch this.
We
And I don't
want to work.
And and the thing is, I don't care, because nothing, because I didn't come on here to make. I didn't come on here to say I'm gonna get 30,000 subscribers. I came on here to try to connect with some black people that want to build, right? So, and I thought that's what black people were interested in. But anyway, $2,400,000 a year, right? So then I broke it down to $5, which would be 1.2 million a year, right? So what I did was, so then I showed the NCUA, that's the National Credit Union Association. And anything I'm saying, anybody in the chat, anybody can look this up. So with the National Credit Union Association, it take $1 million in asset or $1 million in cash to get your own credit union, right? So what I said was, we're gonna have our money in a black bank. Either we have the choice to take 1 million out of that 1.2 million and get a credit union, or we leave the money in the bank and we set up. We have a committee, we have an account, we have 3 people on the committee, because I said we don't even need, because too many people gonna be too many confusion. We have an accountant, and we have financial advisors. So when black people come to us and say, I need $5,000, and y'all the people that have been putting in here to help with this business. So now you have to fill out this paperwork and agree to pay us back while you still pay your monthly due. So the next year, that 1.2 million would have doubled, maybe more than double, because we have helped create a couple of businesses and jobs. So now instead of giving 5, I can give 25. You understand what I'm saying? So now we can get the credit union, or we can continue to do it the way that we are doing it. As we continue to build, still donating the business, get us a couple acres of land, get our own outdoor gun range. You understand what I'm saying? Where we can train and start building and start doing. You can get a couple of acres, right? And on that couple of acres, you can use a half an acre for an outdoor gun range. But if you want to use a whole acre, let's say we get 3 acres, you use a whole acre for the outdoor gun range. You don't even need that much, but I'm just saying. I'll say it because I done been to them. You don't need that much. Half an acre.
You don't need that much. Yeah.
Okay, so let's say we get 3 acres. So now you got 2.5 acres left, right? On that other 2.5 acres, What can be done with those other 2.5 acres?
Right. We
So
can
now
start.
for black people who know how to farm and want
Right.
to start doing something,
Yes.
we have
Yes.
2.5 acres
Yes.
where you can lease your half acre to grow your greens, to grow this, to put your chickens.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So
I
now
do.
we're in the process of, now I got an interview coming on my channel with a black farmer who's
Okay.
doing what I'm talking about, and I'm proud of this, brother.
Yes.
So now we're in the process of our own grocery store. Not only the own grocery store, we're also in the process of our own supply line, of
Right.
supply chain, because we got so many black truck drivers.
Right.
Now we got the black farmers working together. We got the chickens,
Right.
we got all the vegetables,
Right.
we got goat. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So now, if we don't even, the people who don't have the rigs, now we have box trucks.
Yeah.
So now we can go from Georgia to North Carolina,
Yes.
North Carolina to South Carolina, down to Mississippi,
Yes.
you know, all throughout to where we are up in New York. So in
Right.
the process, as it growing, so now we can put some up north because that's
Right.
a long ride. So now we
Right.
got some land and we growing right up there in between North Carolina and Virginia because that's closer to New York. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So now we got some outside of Texas because that's gonna be closer to the west to our people out there, and that way we can all benefit.
Right. Right.
And we
Right.
support. So
And
we
we're
got
building.
farmers, we feeding ourselves, we creating jobs, and everybody have a livable wage.
Okay. The conclusion of all of this is, where do we start? We're gonna do a closing statement, but I want you to include the plan. We need to start talking about the conclusion of all of this. We said some great points. We've talked about building. The conclusion is we need to start somewhere.
Okay.
Even if you would say, hey, let's start it here, let's put something together. And I don't care if we come up with $5 a week, a month. I don't care. We have to start somewhere, building somewhere.
So when we set up this meeting, we're gonna talk about that, and I guess I got that, but I ain't gonna put everything on here no more. But first thing, if we gonna work together and really want to build ourselves up, we have to be willing to make sacrifices.
Right.
And this is what I tell people.
Right.
This is how I see it. Because white people came here and white people run this country, and for some strange reason, they have become our platinum standard, right? So let's look at the sacrifices they made getting on the ship, traveling around the world to control stuff, right? So then let's look at the Spanish conquistador Cortez. When they landed in South America, he ordered his troops to burn up all the ships.
Wow.
Either we gonna conquer or we gonna die, but we ain't going back.
Right.
We gonna control this. So that was a sacrifice he made because all those people had families and everything everywhere else. So they made that sacrifice for their future. So we have to be willing to sacrifice. We have to be willing to sacrifice $10 worth of gas to support one another.
Right.
We have to be willing to sacrifice a little time so we can come together. We have to be willing to sacrifice some of our skills and abilities to have our youth grow. See, when we say we need, and I agree with what, I don't know if that was Asquire or RCH, there was parakeeting the guy, agreeing with the guy who running for mayor. I said, we need vocational skills in the schools, right? But I'm from a little country town in Mississippi called Glen Allen. Now they had vote tech in the school back then, but we didn't have no boys and girls club or nothing like that, right? So what we did was what the people in the community did was somebody donated and half an acre of land, between a half an acre and a full acre of land. You know what the black, it was my pops. He gave the land, right? And then you know what the men in the town did, so the kids could have something to do after school and all that. They got together and built the building. They built it. They got wood, they got the hammers and the nails, and they put the building up. It wasn't anything extravagant, but it was hours. Had a little basketball court out there. People learned to use skill saws, hammer, and nails.
Yes.
Come and do homework. So the point I'm making, I'm saying all that to say, if they are not given to us, we have to look in the mirror. And I'm gonna say this to black men, because we like to say we the leaders. So black men, we got to lead the way. I'm not excluding myself when I say this. We have to lead the way. So we're gonna have to come together as men and do what we're supposed to do. And once we do what we're supposed to do, you ain't got to worry about our women complaining no more. because now they're happy to see strong black men again, and they're gonna do what they're supposed to do.
Yes.
But we got to be willing to sacrifice. We got to be willing to accept responsibility. We have to want change.
Yes.
We have to want change.
Yes.
And I'm not telling nobody in the chat that y'all have to think exactly like me. But do we have the same end goal? So if we have the same goal for our youth, in some sense, we already think alike. Unity, I'm not going to say we need unity because we are already united. Because if you think like me, at least if you have the same end goal, we are united mentally. What we need now is organization. So now once we organize what we need, then the strategy, right? And we gonna have to come up with something so we can meet, and that's something we've been working toward. And we're not gonna have a whole lot of people coming in and say, here. We just need to get a few people say this is where it's gonna be, this is where it is. And now when we put the word out, this is what we saving toward, this the date, this the time, and this is where we gonna be. Everybody, you see how when people go vote in these elections, you see how everybody gonna vote for somebody different, right?
Right. We come together as a block.
So when we come together and try to build something, and everybody have a right to say something, and I ain't saying this crazy, you won't ever get to the conclusion because everybody gonna say something different.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
But as long as we start a movement, we have to have a movement toward what we're working toward. And we have to stay focused on the movement.
Yep, and then we have people come along. Then as more people go, now we delegating authority. Now we got somebody who in charge of pushing these T-shirts and pushing the hats. We got somebody in charge of getting the flyers and everything done. And everybody's working together. In that way, nobody is left out and being felt like I'm only a follower, because we are all doing something. We have delegated authority, and we are all in charge of something.
Yes.
And one more thing, when I say change our mind, when they teach us we don't own nothing in this country, I look at the other side of that coin and say we actually own the greatest resource in the history of this country. We own ourselves. We are the greatest resource that this country has ever had.
Yes.
And once we understand that we own us and they don't own us,
right,
that's part of that mind change.
Right.
They don't own us.
Yes. Yes.
We own us.
Yeah.
We the greatest resource. If you don't think we the greatest resource, why you think everybody come to our community to get rich?
Exactly.
So
and do get rich. And do get rich.
They take our resources and build themselves up. When we should be keeping the resource, which is us.
Yes. Yes. And let's not support another foreign entity that come into our neighborhoods. Stop supporting them. Stop it. We have to, and you know what? I was looking at where a young man in Chicago, and this was the Jamal thing, okay? And he was talking about there was a supermarket that was getting ready to go out of business. I said, okay, why don't you build that community store? Everybody you know, come together and build that store and let that be your community store, because they was talking about they didn't have anything in their neighborhood, and this store that was not all black, it was not a black store, was getting ready to go out of business. I said, okay, black folk, you on here, you supporting Jamal, pull your monies together, come together and get the store. This will be your community store. It'll be for every black folk in your neighborhood. I don't know what they did about it, but it was a great idea. We have to start somewhere. We can talk all day long. We can talk, but we have to come to a conclusion, and we have to start the work and be about the work. Let's not just keep talking. And, I'm so tired of I don't want to hear another talk show. If you don't have a conclusion and you don't have something that you set aside to start doing, I'm not listening. I'm done. But I appreciate you coming. Thank you.
Isaac Ford, I agree with your last statement. And by the way, what's up? Because you said, hey, I agree with your statement. We are the greatest people on earth.
Yeah.
But we got to, I'm glad you understand that.
Yes.
We need more people to understand that. Not just say it to feel good, but truly understand it.
Yes. We have to know it. We have to walk in that. We have to start doing and being the greatest people. We say it a lot, but when we look at it, we don't look like the greatest. I know we are, but we got to start looking like it. We have to start acting like it. But I do believe that we have a Black school. Let's start supporting Zayek's Institute. He's a Black school. It's already there. Let's
That's the
start.
name of
We
the
have to.
school, and I've donated money to his school. I've donated to his school too, but I still don't know. Then you said, and I still don't know.
Yes, it's Zayek's Institute. I
Yes.
interviewed him, Q Butter.
Yes.
And he's
Yeah.
got his own school.
He seemed like he's a cool brother. I've donated to his.
Yes, I interviewed him on my show.
I've made donations to his school.
And that's a start. Yes, we have to go virtually for maybe a year until we can build it up. And then maybe if we have a lot of people in Georgia that's sending their kids virtually to his schools, that because he's willing to build a school in that area. Maybe he'll bring one to Georgia, and that'll be our first Black school in Georgia. But we have to start supporting this. We can't notice brothers here and still keep our children places where they're not being treated well. I've heard some horror stories. I'm hearing he's on YouTube also. He talks about some of this stuff that they're teaching our children. I don't want my granddaughter learning about masturbation. I don't want my granddaughter learning about anal sex. We're being discussed in here because this is what they're teaching your children, and you're okay with it because you still have your children in their schools. When are we going to get tired and be fed up? They can teach our children LGBT, but we can't teach their children CRT. Really? Come on, you guys. No, enough is enough. Enough is enough. So we're going to get together, Kari, you and I, and we're going to come up with a plan, and we're going to be doing some things together. Because it's time
when we have that meeting, trust me, Forecast going to be there. Erica Howard going to be there. I got to get her computer out to her. She the one who keep the records and everything for us. Trust me. She keep the phone numbers, emails, everything.
And we have to have a listing of all these Black businesses, foundations that we can support. We have to have a listing. Where's the listing that we can support each other? We can't support each other. We don't know where you're at.
Let me tell you what I did, and let me see if this makes sense. I want to start making money for this group I was part of, and this is who I want to make. I said I'm gonna do stuff old school, because seems like we work together better old school, right? I said what we gonna do is we gonna create a pamphlet, and I found a woman who was gonna do the pamphlet, and we gonna charge businesses all these Black businesses $20 a month to be in the pamphlet. We gonna print up a whole lot of these pamphlets, and we gonna go pass them out, and then we gonna send them out. So the group I was part of at the time was like, yeah, they can pay, but don't care whether they pay or not. Their business got to be in the back of the pamphlet, and we got to be in the front because we started. I said, dude, that's stupid as hell.
There we go with that division again.
Now watch this. I had 7 businesses within 3 days ready to give, because they know that's because I support Black businesses. So they support these businesses I go to. I can go to them for anything.
Yeah.
They call me, your daughter old enough. One of them called me, your daughter old enough to work here. Like, yeah, tell her she ain't got no interview or nothing. On the strength of you, all the customers you seen and what you do, whenever she want a job, she can come work here.
Look at there.
So within 3 days, I had 7 businesses ready to give $25 a month.
Yes.
I just halted it because of their.
Well, now you go start it back up.
So yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's something we need to talk about.
It's time.
Yeah, that is something we need to talk about.
It's time.
And we need so that people can have easy access to this.
Yeah.
You understand? Black businesses in Georgia, North Carolina, Mississippi, Louisiana, Tennessee, Arkansas, Texas, New York, California. You know, and just imagine if these businesses say you're gonna put us on this app and everybody can get this app, or you're gonna put us in this pamphlet and everybody can get this pamphlet, and we're gonna give y'all, we're gonna give Team Black $25 a month, each one of them, every month, as long as this app up and running good.
Right.
I
love it. I love
it. And that's what we have to do.
I love it. We have to start somewhere. I'm so tired of hearing loose lips, and I'm tired of us not doing anything. But we have great ideas, but when it come time to really doing it, it just falters. We gotta do better. It's time. Right now is the time. We got a lot of stuff getting ready to go down that's gonna hit Black community first. I hope we saving water. As far as that, we need to start being, we got to have a place where we're going to start store water, canned goods and everything else, because it's getting ready to come. It's going down now. It's going down right now. I've heard the other day where China, Canada, you weren't even able to get your money out the bank in Canada. And China did something where they were stopping them from getting their money too. So we better understand what's going on. There's some serious stuff getting ready.
And let me say this right quick. I got a friend that's mad with me. So y'all need to look into doing a ham radio. If any, you ever heard of ham radio?
I'm not. What is that?
Have you ever seen these people with these tags on their cars saying amateur radio? That's ham radio. And what it is, you learn to use ham radio. Let's say stuff go down all of a sudden. You can't
Okay, like the truckers. What I did, I bought us.
You got CDs, right?
Yeah, okay.
But ham radio, I can use my ham radio here and talk to people in Canada.
Really? What's that? We need to look into that then.
I got a friend that mad with me. So people need to look into it because she's really jumping on my back because I've been procrastinating. So if anybody want to be part of ham radio and want to talk about this, I'm finna put my
what's the website? And maybe we can have her on our show to talk about it. What's her name? Or maybe you can have her on, because you know her.
She been on my. She ain't gonna come on my show. She married with me right now.
Well, what about when she come on mine? I'm serious.
Yeah, she'll come on. Look, and she gonna look. Tell her she can't talk about me too bad. Well, I'm laughing about it because me and her real cool. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's why I'm laughing. But yeah, she would love to come. And she's a brilliant sister. She is.
What's her website?
She don't have a website. We trying to raise money for her because she she got all this stuff together. We trying to get everything together so she can start making our bullets too.
Ricari.
You know what? I'm gonna introduce
myself right about now.
I'm gonna introduce y'all so y'all can talk, but tell her she can't talk about. I'm gonna write and I'm gonna put it in the chat that you can't talk about me too bad.
You tell me who she is, and I will reach out to her.
I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna reach out to her.
Yes. Give her my number, or
and I'm gonna explain what we're talking
about.
Ask
if I can have her number. I don't mind calling.
And I'm gonna tell you right, because see, I'm gonna be honest. Sometimes I might procrastinate because I'm gonna be honest. I have a lot going on. It's me.
I know you do. You need some help, honey. You need some help. Get you some help, okay? Hire your secretary. Hire your daughter to be your secretary, okay?
I need my helpmate.
Well, that too, okay? But you need some help right now. Till that helpmate come, you need some help. Stop procrastinating. That's all of this stuff should have been done.
Look, but the thing is, I'm not. See what happened was. Now let me tell you what I did. I'm gonna be honest, and I accepted this. So that's the reason I'm cutting out certain things.
Yeah.
I spread it myself too thin.
Yeah.
And I was bouncing off walls. Yeah. So like,
we're not doing that. You got help.
Yes, I only watch a few people on social media now because that was taking too much. So I can't do that certain things no more because that's taking too much. So what I had to do was let some stuff go because I spread myself too thin and start focusing on the most important things. And she really put me in check last night about the ham radio.
I need her phone number. Text it to me. So her and I can connect and we can do some things.
Everybody look up the ham radio because we are interested in people who want to take the ham radio course, and we can start raising some money to get the real ham radio where we can connect. So if something go wrong, or we on there and we can give our own news without being on their stuff all the time.
Right. That's perfect. I love it.
Calling my homeboy, he got the ham radio study guides and all that, so we can get everything done.
Okay, so we're gonna be.
I've been talking in somewhat, but like I said, I'm being honest. I spread myself too thin.
Yes,
and that's how I got behind.
You're not gonna do that no more, right? We learn your lesson. You learn your lesson.
Have to learn to say no.
Okay, yeah. Let me hear you say that again.
I had to learn to say no. I spread myself too thin. I'm being honest. I spread myself.
We're not doing that because we have business to do. We have things that need to be taken care of, and time is of the essence.
And I always accuse
foundation. Go ahead.
I always mess with forecasts and say, man, you think you can save the world? But it's easy for me to put it on him because that's actually what my friends are. My friend, she was like, man, you think you can say you can't save the world? You got to stay focused on this.
I know, but we trying. At least
but see, because this thing, if we got this in order, we gonna meet other people who got that in order, and we gonna just learn to work together.
Right. But we have to understand that, like you said, there's certain people we can't work with. There's certain people that they can donate, but they cannot be part of the crowd, especially if they don't look like us. I'm just saying, because that's when you'll get the ones that don't look like us and be trying to commingle and all this stuff. No, we can't do that. You've commingled and taken over because, like I said, they don't come to work with you; they come to take over. And no, they can give if they want to, but as far as making any decisions, you're gonna have a seat. We got this, and we're gonna keep on reaching out to our own right now. Because we got to stay focused. And like you said, too many people will take you off focus and you be all over the place. So we have to sit down and write out some things, write out the movement, write out some things that we want to concentrate on now that's going to bring some funds into the organization, and that's going to make so we can make a difference. I'm tired. I have an idea now, and I'm gonna call you after the show because I want to bounce it off you. As far as some housing, it's gonna be kind of weird, but I need somebody to kind of bounce it off because I think it's a good idea, and it'll be a start for me to get some places for our babies to come. Like I said, it's $300. They'll be able to pay somebody for housing, but why not us create their own housing, and it won't cost a whole lot to do it. So I'm gonna call you after this, and we're gonna kind of bounce some things off each other. But I do appreciate you joining me today. I hate to do these 2 and 3 hour shows. I like to just do an hour and a half is cool, but this was important. And everything that we talked about is building on something else. Just like I seen your shows, everything you're talking about is building, and we're gonna keep it connected, and we're gonna keep building our shows into something for Black people so that we can get to the next level and not all this talk. And yes, ADOS and FBS, whatever, I understand, but right now we have to concentrate on us and building, period.
Exactly. Thank you for letting me join your panel, sister.
Thank you. Thank you. Anytime. You are always welcome. And I appreciate you for coming on. I appreciate you for just telling us, talking, giving us something to think about. Because a lot of your shows, the last few shows you've had, I've tuned in, and I'm telling you, right on the money, right on the money. And I'm like, wow. And I didn't even jump on last time. I wanted to listen, just wanted to hear. And I'm telling you, you are outstanding. And thank you for your hardship. Thank you for all that you are doing, all that everything that you're putting out there. And I'm here to help. Whatever you need, let me know, and we're going to make it happen. Period. For the ones that want to do, let's do.
All right. Thank you. Peace and one love.
Peace, brother. Talk to you later.
Later.
So, family, we are the end of the show. We're done. You see the movement. We are trying to build. Just stay tuned, because like I told you, this show is not for entertainment at all. It is for mindset change. I want you to like and share. And thank you for Erica Howard. Thank you for joining Forecast. Thank you, Isaac. Thank you. That's my buddy. He always there. Thank you, Isaac. Thank you. Appreciate you. And Ask Why. Thank you. Let me see. RCH. Thank you. I appreciate everybody that joined in. And we're going to do this next Sunday. Pretty much 12 o'clock is my time. So every Sunday I'll try to do a show on Sundays, but we're going to build upon this show. But thank you. And with that said, peace out. We'll talk to you later.